everyone, and welcome to the Vintage Needle Crafter. My name is Laura. Today I thought I'd sit down with you and do another needlework podcast, show you what I'm working on, what I finished, and some happy mail from Italy. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is show you my progress on what I was doing last week. We'll start with the small things and just work our way up. This is the 12 Days of Evergreen shawl, and it is by Universal Yarns. And I have made quite a little bit more progress on it. And I apologize if you hear grinding noises in the background. My family is all outside. They're all busy working on clearing out more snow. We have had weather that is kind of up and down. We had that blizzard that come through and then another snow. And then we had bitter cold and snow blowing. And then now it's just crazy. Now it's up near 40 degrees and melting. And we're trying to clear out some of the snow a little bit better, but I apologize for the noise if you hear any. How is everyone doing? How is your new year going? I'd love to hear about that. So, what I've been up to, well, I kind of got sidetracked a little bit on some of my projects and started a couple of more and finished those and kind of set my other ones down for a few days. So like this here, when I'm showing you, I wanted it to be a finished object, but, well, I'll be honest. The reason I'm coming on so early and doing another needlework podcast is because of this little package back here that I will show you in just a moment. This is my happy mail. Okay. So yes, I want to talk a little bit about this. This is quite a fun shawl. It's going to be much, much longer than this, but I love the colors on this. This is from Universal Yarns, as I said before, and it's the 12 Days of Evergreen shawl, and here's the photo. It starts very wide at the bottom, and you work the charts, which can seem a little bit, just a wee bit daunting at first. But however, every fourth row, you're going to decrease one stitch. So it's going to be a very long, stretched out triangle. I know you can't see that too well here. When it gets all finished, I'm going to have to block it because the edge here wants to curl up on me, but there's the edge. It's like a zigzag. And if you can see that in the photo here, here's a close-up of that. You could see the zigzag going across there. But it has these charts to work, these 3 charts here in the back. And once you get so far along, the fir tree chart you'll have memorized. At least I did once I got going in it. All I have to do now is just look at the edging chart for the zigzag lace that's up here to make sure I'm not missing anything. But it's pretty simple. It's not too complicated. And when it is blocked, I know I'll be able to give a little bit greater detail on that. And it's just, I bought this in a kit. And it was 5 hanks of this yarn here. And I'm wanting to show you the yarn, but I think I have it put away. You get 5 hanks of this, and I just caked this up. This is a worsted weight wool in a really dark green shade. Okay, that I have going, and I have another current whip that I'm working on. This is kind of a surprise. This was one of those sidetracked projects because all I had left to finish on my list was my evergreen shawl, my dune blanket, which I have not picked up in 2 or 3 days. I did when it was cold, but then I sat it down. Also my Iceland cables. I had those 3 things going, and I kind of got sidetracked with these granny projects. My favorite stitch in crochet, and these are crochet, by the way. My favorite stitch in crochet is the granny stitch. So I love anything that has to do with that stitch. It's very simple to work. It works up very, very quickly. So here this is. And yes, it's going to be a sweater. This is called the Granny Pop sweater. And you might recognize this yarn. Now, if you watched my last podcast, the mannequin that was in the back here, Rosie, she was wearing this sweater, which is a very pretty stitch, and it's crocheted. But the sweater was just so thick. This is so thick. You could make this into a coat. This is so thick. And I think this stitch was by Katarina Designs. And I'm not even sure what it was called, but it was a lot of fun to do. But it's so thick for an indoor house sweater, and it was snug on me. So I'm just frogging it out and saving the yarn. And the yarn is Red Heart Super Saver Latte Stripes. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it's a number 4 worsted. But here it is at the top, and it's going to have long sleeves with cuffs, and I just like it. I really like it. I forgot the designer's name now. I will put a link in my description telling you what it is and where you can get the pattern. Now, this is not a paid-for pattern. You just go to her YouTube channel, and she has the tutorials, and you can follow along. And this is called the Granny Pop sweater. And she also has one called the Granny Pop cardigan that has a hood. So I'm really interested in that, making that as well. Maybe later, I don't know. Like I said, this is supposed to be a slow down year. I don't know. You know how it happens? You're scrolling through, maybe whoops, my book. You're scrolling through Instagram or whatever, and ooh, that looks pretty, and oh no, I want to start that. Yeah, that's how it usually happens for me. I can sometimes easily get sidetracked. I apologize for that. Okay, but those are the only 2. Oh, I do have one more. And I don't want to show this entire thing because it's not for me, it's for someone else. But I'm coming out with a tutorial on this. Now, this is crocheted, but if you look real closely at the stitches, it looks like knit. It is, I'm not sure the exact name of this, but I call it a mock knit stitch. Okay? A mock knit stitch. And it's single crochet, the way you would always do single crochet, except you are working into a different spot, okay, when you make your single crochet. And I will show you because I have a tutorial. I just haven't got it put out there yet. Probably that early next week is probably when I plan on doing that. But that is for someone. Someone special. All right, and the other thing I'm going to show you is a finished object back here. And I saw this on her channel, Just Vintage Crochet. And Rosie is modeling it, and that is the 1846 Civil War era cape. And I had a lot of fun making that, and I just used yarns from my stash. And yeah, I'm going to put it on for you so you can see what it looks like on a real person instead of just the mannequin back there. So hold on for that. Okay, I have it on. I'm just tying up the tassels. I made these quite long. I felt like I stepped off of a wagon train or Gunsmoke. You ever watch any of those programs? Those old westerns? That's what it feels like. Okay, here it is. In all its splendor. The 1846. I think my chair is in the way. Move that. There it is. The 1846 Civil War era cape. I apologize for the noise in the background. Everyone's kind of in and out today. Yeah, there that is. I had a lot of fun in making this, and it too is a granny stitch. However, I'd like to talk to you about that. Hold on. Put my chair back here. There. I'm just very warm today. Very, very warm. So, yes, back to this. This is what you would think is a granny stitch. However, in 1846, they called this the Van Dyke stitch. So there is that. Now, if you are interested in making one of these, head over to, I'll put her channel name here, head over to Just Vintage Crochet and look for the 1840, I think it's 1846 Civil War era cape. I think it's called, and I'm probably not pronouncing this correctly, Pearlane? I'm not sure. Pearlane cape. And I'm just going to leave this on because my sweater's too warm and now I got much too hot. I had that little problem. Okay. Now for the next thing I've been up to. I know you're waiting to get to that happy mail. We're going to get to that in just a moment. I'm going to get through my projects first. So hold on. Okay, I'm back and I think I'm having hot flashes. Wearing these wools and moving things around and making your podcast really heats you up. Especially in the summertime. I'm going to adjust this just a wee bit. Or put it back just a bit. There we are. There we go. Now, what I'm wearing again is my sheep go round sweater that I had a few podcasts back. I did this in just scrap yarns that I had in my stash in acrylic. I think some of them are red heart, some of them were not. The black in the sweater is a vintage yarn I talked about. It is vintage Windtuck from the 1970s. This, yes, and I want to say this Windtuck, it's very warm. It's not scratchy against my skin. Of course, I'm not too sensitive with wools or anything like that, or acrylics, but I just washed this a couple of times. And I haven't even seen any felting in it at all yet. Or any, what I should say is pilling. I haven't seen any pilling in it yet. So that's a good thing. Hope it'll last a while. Okay, now, another thing I wanted to talk about is something new that I am doing. I am venturing out here and I picked up a whole new craft. Yes, something that I have not done in years. How many of you have ever heard of the Pretty Punch punch needle embroidery thing that used to be out there? Well, they have several of those now. And I bought myself a little, it's in here, a little punch needle. And I just got this one on Amazon, and it came with 3 different needle sizes. And after watching a few YouTube videos, I learned how to do it. And I'm working on a little project. And the sweater is the clue. Okay, I'm going to show you, and I have my It just takes a round hoop. I've had this for years. I think it was even my mother's. So that's pretty old. Doesn't take no fancy equipment, just some muslin cloth, a hoop if you have it, and your punch needle. And then it just takes acrylic yarns or whatever yarns you have in your stash. Here is my little project. It says, I love you. It says, I love you with a little sheep. I thought that was cute, a little catchy. It's not finished yet. I am going to do a border around it in blue and hang it on my wall. It needs to have bias tape sewn around. So that would be my tip for you if you ever get into this, or just stitch it down. I have bias tape, seam tape, whatever you call it, of cloth that I'm just going to go around with it. I put a little Scotch tape up here to try to hold it, but this cloth tends to fray quite easily. But there it is. I love you. Oh, it's so cute. And what I did was, because with punch needle, now one side when you do punch needle is going to be the loops and the other side's going to be flat. So this is the right side, and I started out flat with the lettering, and then I reversed it to get the sheep his little fluffy coat of wool there. Oh, I'm having fun with this project, and this is something different, something new for the year, something I haven't picked up in many, many, many years. I also do embroidery from time to time, but it has been since last spring since I picked up my embroidery. I don't know. My channel keeps me busy and my needleworks keep me busy. I need to get back to that. I would like to finish that rose garden embroidery piece I'm working on. It's about 85% finished. I don't know what's wrong with me. Does that ever happen to you? Do you ever do that? Work on a project and then you just kind of get tired of working on it and you're just about finished, but for some reason you lose the knack, or the, there's a word for that. You just lose your knack for completing it. I don't know. Mojo, that's the word. You lose your mojo, which is your motivational journey, or your motivation to finish something completely. I don't know. Okay, well, now you've been waiting long enough, and I thank you very much if you stuck with me this long. I know you're being patient, and you're probably saying, come on and open that box. Okay. I think I may have to get scissors behind me, but I got this from Italy, and this is from the YouTube channel We Grow Wild. Martina from We Grow Wild has a wonderful YouTube channel. Hello, Martina, if you are watching. I told you I would be putting this on my video today. I thank you so much. This was sent to me from a make-along she was having back in November called the Scrap Me Good Make-Along. I was not the only winner chosen. There was 3 winners chosen, and I about fell out of my chair when I watched her video and my name appeared on the screen, and I thought, what? No, I didn't see that correctly. I never win anything, ever. But, but I was definitely surprised and shocked. But anyway, let's get to opening this. And I did tell you all that on my YouTube short that I was going to be opening this with you. I can give you a hint, it's yarn. And this is very special yarn to me. This came from her home, from her stash, I think. So we're going to make something special with this. And I will definitely be showing you what I'm going to make with it. I'm trying not to ruin the box. Let's see. She packed this really well. Okay, here we go. Aren't you excited? I am. I have no idea what this is in here. I know it's yarn, but there's a little card in here. And it says, thank you so much for participating in the Scrap Me Good Make-Along. Sending you joy and abundance, Martina. That is so sweet. And here, I think she meant to get me this probably before Christmas, because it says, I wish you all the joy and abundance your heart desires. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you so much, Martina. And now what is in here? We have, oh my. You see my face? You see my face? You see my face? Oh my gosh, these are beautiful. She sent me, don't cry, hand-dyed yarn, not one, but two. And they are Flower Hill fleeces. Wow. Okay, I'm already gathering something in my mind for this. Merino zebra fingering hand-dyed, 437 yards. It's a super wash. One of it says $26. Wow. And this one here is the Tie Bitten Cloud from Tie Bitten Fibers. Our wool comes exclusively from an ancient breed of sheep. Wow. That roam freely on the grassland and Tibetan Plateau. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I apologize. At an altitude of over 4,000 meters, out of a deep respect for animal welfare. The sheep are sheared by nomads. This is very interesting yarn. Wow. Wow, sheared by nomads or shepherds in the traditional way that has been used for centuries. Tibetan Cloud is the result of using the finest and softest hearth of that wool, creating a yarn that is light and soft, sliding across your hands. That's a good thing. As clouds that float across the sky. Sliding across my hands, yeah. My hands always get very dry right under my cuticles, and they crack and bleed a lot because the yarn's sliding. Thank you so much, Martina. This is such beautiful, beautiful yarn. And it's enough, I think it's enough to get a shawl from this. Knitted, of course, to make sure I get the most yardage use out of the yarn. Wow, this is going to be a treasured piece. Thank you so much, Martina. Okay, so I think that was everything I wanted to cover today. I didn't want to make this video too long. But I'll be updating you definitely on what I cast on with that. I do have a pattern in my downloads from Andrea Mowry. She has some shawls and a couple of scarves, but I think that's going to be enough for a shawl. But anyway, thank you for watching. And oh, before I go, I almost forgot to show you one more thing. My mind got totally, it's totally gone now. It's totally gone. It's on the yarn, totally. Okay. That about made me cry. That was such beautiful yarn. But anyway, I wanted to share a book with you this week that was on my bookshelf. And an acquisition that I have planning coming up sometime in the near future after I finish a couple of things. The only things I finished this week was 1 and 2. But anyway, this book here is called Mosaic Magic, and if you are into crochet, you can make some really beautiful pieces with this just by crocheting 2 or 3 rows below. And that's all there is to this. And what I had in mind, I have marked here, is this here, this rug and this pillow. But I think instead of making a rug, I may make something different with it. I'm not sure. And I had one more thing. If I can find it, maybe it's up here. Yes, here it is. It's called Checkerboard Squares. And I have just some more acrylic yarn floating around in my stash, and I thought I would use some of that up and work on this. It's just squares that you sew together. So it's one of those little projects. You can work on a few squares and set it down for a few days or a week and pick it back up and do a few more, and you can make it as big or as small as you would like. I think I'm going to do mine in a nice shade of country blue, which is an 80s color, country blue, and off-white, and then I've got some brown that I'm going to do mine with. But anyway, that is that, and you can get this book pretty much out there on the internet or thrift books, Amazon, A-Books. You find it, it's out there. Okay, well, that's everything I wanted to cover today. And I thank you all very much for watching. Also, I hit a little milestone in my channel. I hit my first 100 subscribers. It's so special to me. I know it's just a small amount to a lot of you, but I'm sure many of you out there who have channels that have many, many, many thousands or a few thousand subscribers, you remember what it was like when you hit your first 100. So I am so happy. I thank each and every one of you because you all helped make it happen. Without you, I would not have been here doing this, reaching that first little goal. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. And be watching for the tutorial next week for the mock knit stitch crochet tutorial. Well, you all take care now and have a wonderful week. Bye!